UWF. We hope that you'll be with us this Sunday night, our next television taping. Wait a minute, there's Cowboy Bill Watts, Dr. Death, and Ted DiBiase. And they're coming in from the opposite side of the ring, and it is breaking down right here on the UWF. It's war in the squared circle. Dr. Death with the right hand sends Gordy all the way over the top. Ted DiBiase working over Buddy Roberts, and Cowboy Bill Watts with Michael Hayes on the outside. Six-man tag team action. Michael Hayes trying to climb back into the ring. Watts with a right hand. The big cowboy from Bixby let loose with Michael Hayes. Whatever it takes, and whatever kind of match it takes, and it's breaking loose. My gosh, what a brawl. DiBiase and Williams and Watts at Freebirds in any kind of combination. We don't have a lot of time. We'll keep it here as long as possible. I wish you could be with us here in Tulsa. It's pandemonium, no doubt about it. It's pandemonium in Tulsa. The Freebirds, no hurry to get back in the ring. Dr. Death, he wants any Freebird. Ted DiBiase wants any Freebird. And the same for Cowboy Bill Watts. Michael Hayes has been badly lacerated at the hands of Cowboy Bill Watts. And Williams with a right hand. Dr. Death, he may be off his game plan. Right now it's not to pin, but to hurt somebody. He doesn't care who it is. It just happens to be Terry Gordy. He's the Freebird. He's got it. Gordy is lacerated. Dr. Death, big hands, have large gash on Terry Gordy. And now it's Gordy with a pile driver. And these two big men have collided in the center of the squared circle. The crowd becoming so much involved in this confrontation. Here in Tulsa, another capacity crowd at the convention center as Gordy's face is a mask of Clarence. Williams is dazed. What a battle. And Gordy went for a flying body press, and he has annihilated Carl Berge. Dr. Death dropped down, but Gordy with that inside drop cradle. There's referee Tommy Gilbert in the ring. Thank goodness for the standby official as Berkeley. Dr. Death has got Terry Gordy. There went Tommy Gilbert. But Dr. Death, and Gordy split is on the rope. Dr. Death with a partial stampede. Both referees have been knocked down, but the referee telling Dr. Death only a 2 count. It was only a partial stampede. Gilbert was knocked. The referee was hit in the face. It threw Doc's balance off, and now Gordy taking back over on Williams. It's all on the line right here, and you're seeing it right here on the UWF. Dr. Death, belly to back suplex. Both referees are counting, and we've got a pinfall. I think we've got a new champion. The referees, both of them are down. Dr. Death has his hand up. The crowd is jubilant in Tulsa. Carl Berge is holding Dr. Death's hand up. But Tommy Gilbert's one referee is signaling Dr. Death. We seem to have a difference of opinion here. Terry Gordy's leaving with a belt, but one of the referees is raising Dr. Death's hand.
Dr. Death and Terry Gordy are two incredible athletes, and you can bet that we haven't seen the last of their battles, whether in single competition or in tag team matches. And speaking of tag team matches, we'll see some of the greatest ones of 1986 when the Universal Wrestling Federation year-end review continues.
But much to Michael Hayes' credit, Hayes beat him to the punch, and now they're signaling for that pile driver. Remember, it's lumberjack rules. You hear Dr. Death in the background. DiBiase powers out. A desperation maneuver for Ted DiBiase. The lumberjacks are enthusiastic surrounding the ring, but they are being completely engulfed by this phenomenal, enthusiastic crowd. And listen to this. It's house call time. Dr. Death has Buddy Roberts trapped, and the fans love Dr. Death. Ooh. Clothesline, and Michael Hayes, all four men back in the ring. That cracked the skulls of the Freebirds, DiBiase and Williams. Power slam. DiBiase with a perfectly executed power slam on Michael Hayes. Dr. Death manhandling Buddy Roberts. He's got him up. There's a stampede. A partial stampede for Dr. Death. And Roberts is trying to get out of there with his life. Roberts, the veteran, moves out of the way. Dr. Death now going outside, as is Michael Hayes. There's DiBiase and Roberts in the ring. But look at the lumberjacks. Gilbert, the Fantastics. It's breaking loose. There's the Fantastic Sting and Gilbert. They're fighting. There's all kinds of action breaking out on the floor. And DiBiase's in there. They've got a belt. They've called for disqualification. They've called. Michael Hayes has got a belt from somewhere. He's got the belt. He had it around DiBiase's neck. He's whipping him without letting the belt, but there's Dr. Death. Hayes was trying to injure DiBiase's neck once again with that belt, and then he lashed him with it. Hayes caught off guard, and Terry Taylor lacerated with a victory, but Michael Hayes taking back over on Terry Taylor. Just hit the referee. That'll cost him some money. And he's taking that belt out. Remember last week, he whipped Ted DiBiase. There were massive welts on DiBiase's body. You saw. And now you listen to that. Listen to Hayes. He's whipping a helpless Terry Taylor, who is bleeding with that belt unmercifully. Hayes, but there goes Ted DiBiase. And Hayes meets Ted DiBiase coming in. Hayes going to clothesline. But now DiBiase's got the belt. And he's whipping Hayes. And the credit Hayes is running. Hayes, DiBiase with a belt of Freebird Buddy Roberts. This is his opportunity. DiBiase has got to make the tag, and he does. Taylor's got the belt. You hear it all the way at our vantage point. He elevates Roberts. He elevates Hayes. And it has broken down into the brawl we knew it would. We've got 2 minutes of airtime remaining as Taylor works on DiBiase. And DiBiase and Hayes were thrown together. Excuse me, it's hard to keep up with this action. Fine body press by Taylor. He's got Roberts. Yes, sir. Terry Taylor has pinned Buddy Roberts. DiBiase. Taylor went outside, and Hayes went outside. It's broken down. Hayes and Taylor on the outside are fighting. DiBiase and Hayes have won the match. Hayes and Taylor battering each other outside. setting DiBiase for the pile driver. DiBiase powered out. And look at DiBiase reaching down. DiBiase reaching down. He's going for the infamous black glove. And Hayes is brutalizing Taylor on the floor. Taylor has been hurt. Could be very seriously with Taylor outside. Hayes, deep shot on DiBiase. And now Michael Hayes has taken the glove off the hand of Ted DiBiase. This has never happened. DiBiase his black glove. Hayes has got it on. And he tattooed DiBiase. He tattooed DiBiase.
Only on the Universal Wrestling Federation will you see such great main events as this one. And things won't be anything but better in 1987 as the UWF gears up for its nationwide tours. We'll be back with more of the Universal Wrestling Federation Year in Review program and a look at the best-looking ladies in wrestling when our 1986 Year in Review continues. Special. We're glad to have you with us, and in this segment, we'll be looking at the valets in the Universal Wrestling Federation. Probably the most popular woman in wrestling today is Dark Journey. She's established herself as a great valet by managing the missing link, which is no easy chore.
Drop on top of Tatum. Gilbert came right off the top rope. The link is there, quick for the pin. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is. It has backfired. Journey pushed Eddie Gilbert off the top rope, and Gilbert went down crashing from the top on Hollywood John Tatum. We have got a pinfall. And Dark Journey will get Missy Hyatt as a valet for a day. We got to get the camera to this situation. What a feature this is going to make. I want to get the camera to this and see what that young lady has in store for her.
The latest lady on the scene is Sunshine. She's teamed up with the Freebirds, who are hard to share the spotlight with, but if history is any indication at all, it won't be long before Sunshine rises into the public eye in a big way. And last, but definitely not least, is Missy Hyatt. Her voice and melody have all the charm of fingernails grating on a blackboard, but her face and figure seem to have broken more than just John Tatum's heart. In this match, Tatum and Missy used the Gucci bag to help Eddie Gilbert and Sting win the Universal Tag titles. But it wasn't long before Missy found a new love, and it caused a war between Tatum and Gilbert that took place right on national television.
The ring now opening up on Jack Victory. The Fantastics now really opening up. Look at the offense. They've got the tempo back up. And Eddie Gilbert is back at ringside. This time it's with flowers or something. Look at Eddie. Look at those red roses Eddie has brought Missy. He's really making his best pitch there, I guess. And Missy is not even paying attention to the championship match. Long attention span. She's not been blessed with brains. Well, I don't know, but in the ring, we've got Missy has completely distracted, I think, her team. Gilbert's down there with her, and Tatum is trying to win the championship. He and Victory are fighting the Fantastics. Now look at Vic. But Eddie must have been saying the right things. I don't know. But Missy looks like she's moving away from the ring from where we're sitting. Tatum splitting his concentration quite obviously between Missy and Gilbert in the tag championship match. Now look at him. Gilbert and Tatum having been hurt. He got a cradle, 1, 2, 3. The Fantastics for the victory. The Fantastics for the victory. Tatum was pinned, but he was looking at Missy, and he was letting Gilbert. Gilbert and Tatum have not been successful here. Look at Missy. Wait just a minute. Missy Hyatt is leaving with hot stuff. Missy Hyatt looks to be leaving with Eddie Gilbert. Tatum is raising some ring. We were going to go to a break. Remember the UWF heavyweight title match coming up, but we're going to keep it right here as Tatum has sucker punched Gilbert. I think Missy has made her choice. Look at Tatum. Tatum is irate at Missy Hyatt. And Sting is in the ring. And Rick Steiner is in the ring. Victory goes out and way over the top. Tatum was irate with Missy. I thought he was going to pop Missy. And now Gilbert's boys, Steiner and Sting. And the hot shot on John Tatum. Gilbert, Sting, and Steiner are decimating Tatum in Victory. They cost them perhaps the match moments ago. The muscle, Steiner and Sting, as Gilbert. Now Gilbert was going to hit. What's he doing here? I thought Gilbert was. Missy hit Tatum right in the face. She hit him with a Gucci bag. Gilbert, what a humiliating thing to happen. Miss, oh, wow. Tatum is busted open. The three of them in the Gucci bag have busted open John Tatum. Missy Hyatt has stealing old line. She has made her bed. She's lying this one.
Missy Hyatt put a Gucci bag ending to the love affair with Hollywood John, and we'll be back after this timeout to put a video ending to our year-end review. I'm Doyle King for the UWF.
Out of the barbed wire cage from the Tulsa Convention Center. It's the Fantastics and Terry Taylor taking on the Sheepherders and Jack Victory. Lady Maxine roams the outside of the ring, and there's Bobby Fulton. Now this ring, ladies and gentlemen, is surrounded by the barbed wire cage as Luke Williams, one of the Sheepherders, hammering away at Bobby Fulton, and this, without a doubt, one of the most physical battles of the year in the Universal Wrestling Federation or any other association. The Fantastics and Terry Taylor, six-meg action. As I mentioned, Lady Maxine looking on from the outside. Lady Maxine left the area in a hurry thanks to Dark Journey. And Terry Taylor being double-teamed. Butch Miller of the Sheepherders working on Terry Taylor. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most physical and one of the most violent battles ever in pro wrestling, as Luke Williams of the Sheepherders just rammed Tommy Rogers face first into the barbed wire. A lot of people wonder, why do they sign this type of match? It's to settle their issues. It's to settle their feuds. It's man on man. Nobody leaves until it's all over from the barbed wire cage. As Bobby Fulton and Terry Taylor back on the attack, back on the offense. But they've lost a lot of blood in this six-man barbed wire tag team matchup. Now later in the hour, you're going to be seeing how Terry Gordy became the first Universal Heavyweight Champion. We're going to show you Ted DiBiase and Terry Taylor as they battle the Freebirds in a country whipping tag match. Plus, in a six-man match, Cowboy, Bill Watts, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Hacksaw Duggan taking on Ivan and Nikita Koloff and Korsita Korchenko, the three Russians. That all coming in this hour. It's like a who's who in pro wrestling in this 60 minutes. The UWF 1986 year in review as Lady Maxine carries the New Zealand flag proudly. The people in Tulsa, certainly pro-American all the way. As Butch Miller choking Tommy Rogers, Luke Williams finding Bobby Fulton with a right hand. And it's Terry Taylor and Jack Victory. And Victory goes face first into the wood framing that the ball's attached to. Jack Victory with those Sheepherder camouflage tights, their trademark, as Taylor and the Fantastics lying in a heap in the middle of the squared circle. The Universal Wrestling Federation, long known before as the Mid-South Wrestling Organization, long known for its physical and violent competition. between evenly fought teams, between evenly fought men one-on-one. That's what you're seeing right here, that barbed wire shaking right in your screen. The prongs and the barbed wire used to keep animals in on the range. Once a great point of controversy with ranchers and farmers, and now it's surrounding the ring in Tulsa as the Fantastics and Terry Taylor are being cheered by this awesome crowd in Tulsa. And the barbed wire cage. Butch Miller thrown into the cage. Jack Victory. Fulton threw Victory into the... And it's getting very physical here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Universal Wrestling Federation. And look at Luke Williams' face just raked across that barbed wire. It's hard to really call the action because it's so diversified. It's so spread out in the ring. And now all 6 men are bleeding profusely. The Fantastics and Terry Taylor taking over on Victory and the Sheepherders. Inside the barbed wire cage. And Luke Williams gone right back into that cage as all 6 men are losing a lot of blood. And now Victory, that barbed wire right into his forehead. This is the most physical match. And look at Tommy Rogers on top of the cage. Rogers is on top of that cage. All the way off the top came Tommy Rogers. What a matchup. These 6 men, one of the hottest feuds at that time of the year in wrestling. The Fantastics and the Sheepherders. And there's Fulton and Victory on the top rope. They're a long way from the floor. Victory's head cracking into that lumber. The framing there that the barbed wire is attached to. Fulton on the top rope. And then Fulton with that double fist right to the face of Jack Victory. Victory kicks out. The most physical 6-man tag match in existence, and you're seeing it right here. Victory now with a pile driver, and he has pile driven Fulton. Terry Taylor. These men, you can almost see they're giving it their all. But how much left? This had to be one of the most physical matches of the year. I know it's one of the most physical matches that I've seen. And remember, as I mentioned just moments ago, Terry Gordy, you'll see how he became the first UWF champion in the hour. Other tag team action, Country Whippin', Ted DiBiase and Terry Taylor. They're an awesome team. And they took on the fabulous Freebirds in a Country Whippin' match. Terry Taylor, now up to the second rope. Terry Taylor with a pinning predicament on Jack Victory. And there's the pinfall. Taylor the Fantastics with the victory. And we'll have more of this year in review right after this timeout. Program, our year in review. Hope you've enjoyed the last 60 minutes. It's going to be, I think, an exciting hour here next week. But we have a little bit more than the hour, and we're going to take a look at some of the young lions in the Universal Wrestling Federation. I think one of the reasons that the UWF has established itself as the #1 pro wrestling organization in the world today is because of the intense competition and because that we continually develop new wrestling talent. That's what we're going to take a look at. I really thank you very much for being with us. I'm Jim Ross. We're going to close this program with a special look at the young Americans in the UWF.
They pulled in just behind the bridge. He lays her down. He frowns. Till life's a funny thing. Am I still too young? He kissed her then and there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows he'd have taken anything. All night. She was a young American. the young American. Standing right through the picture window, she finds her slinking vagabond. Because as she passes the Ford Mustang, heaven forbid she's taking the thing. But the freedom is right for nothing. This is a step and cuts his hand, showing nothing. It swoops like a song, she cries. Where have all Papa's heroes gone? All night. So young America.
Thompson continues the introduction, but coming down the aisle, more wrestlers dressed up, come as you are. No rules, no disqualifications. It's a wild event. Wrestling fans, we are running out of time. We're not going to be able to bring you this event in its entirety. We'll try to bring you as much as we can. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan now is coming down the ringside. You see them as they start to gather around. Tremendous crowd here at the Coliseum tonight. Saw a tremendous night of Houston wrestling action. Make your bands a beat at the Coliseum on Friday, January 9th for the blockbusting card. And time won't run out there. You'll be able to see every single minute of it. Sorry, Houston wrestling fans, but we've got to go. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll see you next Friday night right here at the Sam Houston Coliseum.
It's been good to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Houston Wrestling. And just remember that this is historic version. It is the first program of the 39th year on the air of Houston Wrestling. And we hope that you'll be around when we say that it's going to be the 40th year, because we hope to be there then. We hope to be providing you with the same kind of action that will make you tune to Channel 39 Gold for the best in wrestling televised action. So long, everybody.
Houston Wrestling was brought to you by...
Headlock. He slips that arm around there and hangs on tight. That's the way you get cauliflower ears. You get the bone of the forearm up against the man's ear. You put the pressure on there. You start rotating that forearm so that you break a blood vessel in the ear. And once you've got one or two of them broken, you're on your way, because you can break the rest of them and somebody's going to have a strange-looking appendage hanging on their side of the head. The referee is inadvertently preventing that action from taking place in the corner, and Mike George, the veteran, was making the use of it. Oh, he caught a nasty knee in the midsection. And there is George. George is merciless. He moves in there and he clobbers him. He hangs it in there on the whiskers with a savage ferocity. Reverse chinlock. You've never smashed. May we suggest that Friday, January 23rd is going to be a night for you to be here. It's a match that will not be seen on television. Ted DiBiase's black glove, about which so many people have both praised and damned him. Why, it is going to be on top of a 10-foot pole that is going to stand towering over the ring here at the Sam Houston Coliseum. Any man who can get up that pole can get the glove, and he can make use of it. That's for Gary. They're cheering Gary. They're getting Gary the kind of support a fellow needs at a time like this. 5 minutes have gone by. Oh, he shook the ring. He shook that ring as the force of his close to 280 pounds. That corner with a lot of force. And the man who gave the force to it, of course, is Gary Young. Young wasn't having anything else except doing something to rack his man. And notice again, it is Mike George who trapped the referee into being where he was. He actually got the referee in the way, and they took advantage of that interference, which the referee was not trying to produce, but was trying to prevent. And that veteran from Kansas City put Gary Young in a tough spot, but he hasn't knocked him out, I'll tell you that. Reverse a neck breaker, and Gary Young's in trouble. He's in severe trouble. But he is now shaking and ready and willing to climb up to his feet. George, as he moves in, finds that top turnbuckle, but it's the way he found it, with a lot of force, pounding down. Friday, 23rd of January. You will see here at the Sam Houston Coliseum not only Ted DiBiase and Michael Hayes in a pole match, which will be a savage affair. Oh, a wrap in the jaw and a great follow-up. Under and oh, smash. I tell you, Young is the most improved man I have seen in the last several years. He is going places, but that's not the way to go. Mike George hung onto that rope for dear life, and on the slippery body of Mike George, those hands just slid off there and left Mike standing, and Gary Young took a bad, bad fall. On Friday, January 23rd, Dr. Death will be meeting the Angel of Death, that towering powerhouse. There's one, there's two, and there's three. There is three. A great move by Gary Young as he wrapped him up in a small package there and put those shoulders down. A good move, and these fans appreciated the wrestling and the skill and the speed. We appreciate the fact that you will be with us when we return with more action.
A tremendous athlete, a great big football star in the USFL, and he did extremely well, and then he decided his first love was professional wrestling. He's slowly but surely climbing to the top. He's a top-notch individual, athletic ability, and that determination to succeed, and that's what's going to carry him to the top.
You know, in spite of the fact that UWF has so much command of the top stars in the game, they're not losing sight of the fact that it's youth that grows into the top stars. And Jeff Gaylord and Gary Young and people like that are the stars of the future. They're being polished right now.
Right now, it's Irwin down on the mat. Tommy Gilbert administering the count. Last-minute instructions by General Skandar Akbar. Regardless of how Wild Bill Irwin makes out in this match tonight, he and Eli Eliminator, that's that big man you see next to General Akbar, they will see action here in the Coliseum on January 23rd up against the fantastic 5 minutes deep into this match between Jeff Gaylord and Wild Bill Irwin. And you're seeing Gaylord now taking a battle right to Irwin. He hasn't taken a backward step until just then. That big boot of Wild Bill Irwin came across, and now as he stops Gaylord, and look how Wild Bill Irwin just responds to the opening. He's a veteran, and he knows when he sees an opening, he's got to take full advantage of it. And it's Wild Bill Irwin on top. 1, 2, and almost 3.
There's where you get strength in the arms. You have strength in the arms, and you can sometimes push your tormentor away from you just in the manner that he did it, just like a bench press. But Jeff Gaylord needs to avoid getting into those predicaments rather than getting out of them. And you learn both ways, blocking and, of course, escaping. A quick pinwheel turn there, and Gaylord's in trouble. Irwin on top and boasting already. He boasted that 3, but the 3 to beat.
You know, he underestimated the determination in that heart of Jeff Gaylord, as Wild Bill Irwin now changing the style of this match more towards his favor. A few less wrestling holds and more of just punishing his opponent. And that time he came so close again. Jeff Gaylord showing a lot of intestinal fortitude.
A lot of getting away. That's what happens. It's good. It's good that a man knows how to protect himself when he's flat on that canvas and somebody is pounding away at him. That's when it's most difficult to protect yourself and most difficult to do anything. And right now, Jeff Gaylord's getting a lesson, and as shown Bill Irwin that he's not going to get away with anything except something superior, and you can bet Jeff hopes to be able to prevent that.
Now, as Jeff trying to ease his way out of that front headlock, you can see Irwin trying to use his size, but his size so far has not been an equal match for the muscles of Jeff Gaylord. Irwin came charging like a Sherman tank across that ring, and that ring shook when he went crashing into the turnbuckle, and Jeff Gaylord now sees an opening, and this is something that he's been looking for, and a head-on collision. Both men went with that shoulder block, and Bill Irwin is a big man, and he sent Gaylord down on the concrete floor here in the Coliseum. An Eli Eliminator, that's the man who lowered the boom that you saw in the background as he attacked Jeff Gaylord. Tommy Gilbert trying to keep his eyes on both men, but Jeff Gaylord now taking care of Eli as he's trying to defend himself. Here comes referee Tommy Gilbert as he tries to get things under control outside the ring. And Jeff Gaylord now, he wasn't able to protect himself from that wallop by Wild Bill Irwin. General Akbar trying to hold back Eli the Eliminator, but possibly the damage as they've been able to successfully deter the concentration of Jeff Gaylord away from his official opponent, and that's Wild Bill Irwin. And that's General Skandar's strategy unfolding right before our eyes.
He's providing the sidetrack there to distract Jeff Gaylord. Gaylord was better than even with Wild Bill Irwin rather, before he got thrown out of that ring. It's right now that he's got to show the stuff and get back on there in that score. He's going for a sunset flip, and he may have it. There's 1, 2, and he came close. He came awfully close that time. And Jeff is following up even more closely, which is great. Nimble missed. Oh, that nasty boot in the face.
A vicious kick to the face, and this could be it. This is the match. Wild Irwin of General Skandar Akbar's Army, victorious in this matchup against a hard-fighting Jeff Gaylord. We'll be back for more Houston Wrestling action after this important message.
Dark journey, and that infuriated the missing link, and what an atomic drop.
Up in the ring, we've got the missing link jumping up and down on the floor. We've got Buddy Jack Roberts wishing that he had not made the gesture of trying to get at Dark Journey. Missing link protects Dark Journey.
He's very protective of that young lady, his mentor, so to speak. And Buddy Jack Roberts may think twice the next time that he attempts to get physical with Dark Journey. He's got all he can handle physically in the ring with an orthodox and unusual-looking man known as the Missing Link here in the Universal Wrestling Federation. And the Missing Link will have a big chore of his own, Pete, on January 23rd. 375-pound Bad Leroy Brown will challenge the Missing Link. That should be a great matchup in itself.
And regardless of the outcome in this match, also Buddy Jack Roberts will be on that big card up against Chavo Guerrero, the Fantastics. As we mentioned before, Ted DiBiase and Michael Hayes in a pole match. Steve Dr. Williams in a special challenge match up against the Angel of Death. And more matches are being signed all the time.
Exactly right, and we'll tell you all about it right here on 39 Gold. And I'll tell you, the Link's got such a vice-like grip. Look at the tremendous strength. Great definition in his legs and his upper body, but he's controlling Buddy Roberts physically. For Buddy Roberts to beat the Missing Link, he's got to use some tricks. He's got to take a shortcut or two, and maybe that's what he's doing here, because physically, I'm not taking anything away from Buddy Roberts, but physically the Link is superior, I think, in the physical attributes in this contest.
5 minutes deep in this battle, as we saw Buddy Jack Roberts drive that thumb into the throat of the Missing Link. And the Missing Link has a lot of muscles, but you can't develop those throat muscles from that type of attack.
Exactly right. He's trying to cut off the wind. I don't care how big or how strong you are, you don't have the oxygen, the motor won't go. Take away the oxygen, and there goes the fuel. And Roberts, again, extending the fingers in a karate thrust to the throat of the Missing Link, as Carl Fergie is rather inquisitive about exactly what has transpired. I don't know how truthful Sunshine is or can be, but be that as it may, the referee trying to break the count. Boy, that headbutt right above the eye of Buddy Jack Roberts.
And as the missing link not able to fully recuperate from those choking techniques, catches that wild right by Buddy Jack. And Buddy Jack's up on that second rope, perched up there as he comes climbing across, trying to sneak up on the missing link. And down he comes, right across the back of the head.
Roberts using the ropes for added momentum. And that's a smart move on his part. It may not be legal, but it's a sound maneuver for Buddy Roberts in this particular match. And now what he'll do is he'll use the referee's count for as long as he can and take all the oxygen away from the missing link that he possibly can. Roberts is a great tactician in the ring. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He makes very few mistakes, and you can't afford to make any mistakes when you're in there against the missing link.
Again, that knee. The target is the throat, as Buddy Roberts has made no bones about it. He is after the throat of the missing link, figuring that that may be the most vulnerable part of the missing links. Buddy Jack Roberts, just like his Freebird brothers, Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, they know what it takes to win inside the ropes, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to come out winners.
We've got a very exciting UWF program tonight. Pete, the Fantastics on the show against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. Be a great tag team matchup later in the hour in UWF. Ted DiBiase will also be in action. And the big one, that Bad Street Battle. The missing link retaliating on Buddy Jack Roberts. He may not be a great strategist, speaking of the link, but he is very effective. And there's that headbutt.
It's Buddy Jack coming into the ropes, and the missing link again coming across with that driving, vicious, punishing headbutt. The trademark of the missing link, as now he looks for a place to throw Buddy Jack and finds that turnbuckle a good target to damage the fate of Buddy Jack Roberts. Missing link again, an atomic drop, setting him up. Comes down again, and Buddy Roberts has taken a lot of punishment. And the crowd here in the Coliseum's on to cheer their approval for the missing link.
Buddy Jack may be visiting the chiropractor, and there's P.S. Michael P.S. Hayes, who certainly isn't very happy at the way things are going here. And Michael Hayes has a total disdain for Dark Journey as the fans that, look at that! Hayes just slapped Buddy Roberts right in the face. And now Roberts with added motivation, but I don't know if that's going to help him or not.
And Buddy Roberts caught between a hard spot and a rock as he was slapped by P.S. Michael Hayes to fire him up, like you pointed out, Jim. But he stepped right back in the ring against a fired-up missing link.
The link slam, he nailed it. And right across the stomach and the chest, and this could be all for Buddy Jack Roberts here on Houston Wrestling.
Missing link going for a pinning combination, and then you see a shot of P.S. Michael Hayes with that glove.
Sunshine gave that glove, and Michael Hayes with Ted DiBiase's long-lost glove has just nailed the missing link, but Dark Journey was entering the ring to block Sunshine's interference. In the meantime, the link has been nailed by Ted DiBiase's glove, and Hayes and Sunshine are leaving. They've done their dirty work, but the link, Dark Journey put the link's foot on the bottom rope. There's Chavo Guerrero, but most importantly, Pete, that has broken the count.
And Dark Journey felt like it was probably in fair play, that glove and that punch by Michael Hayes, as Dark Journey picked up the leg of the missing link to give the missing link ended life in this period.
That glove is a deadly weapon. It is a knockout. I mean a knockout weapon. And Michael Hayes and Sunshine, after they did their dirty work, they've left the ring, so apparently they think that they've got everything under control right here.
As the missing link threw him into that turnbuckle, comes crashing down. And what an example of demonstration of the missing link of a punishment he can take. Missing link on top, and we've got it.
Michael Hayes and Sunshine left the ringside area too early because the link reaching down and coming back, the missing link with a hard-fought victory over Buddy Jack Roberts. But don't ever forget, that black glove of Ted DiBiase's is a weapon.
And now Missing Link with a very impressive victory of a Buddy Jack Roberts. You see a close-up of the victorious Dark Journey and Missing Link as they make their way back to the dressing room.
You can bet, Pete, that Michael Hayes is certainly displeased that he didn't get to embarrass Dark Journey in this situation. And Buddy Roberts did not beat the Missing Link. And, well, this situation will definitely continue.
We'll be back after this commercial break with some exciting Universal Wrestling Federation wrestling action.
Here in the San Houston Coliseum, the chief interest in the life of Michael P.S. Hayes is going to be a glove that rests on a pole 10 foot above the ring. And Ted DiBiase doesn't intend to see you get it.
Is that right? Let me tell you something, DiBiase. You say finders, keepers, losers, weepers. But I didn't find that glove, boy. I took it right off you, by myself. Nobody had to help me. I did it by myself. Because when you come from a bad street, you don't need no help. Shut up when I'm talking. Now they're gonna put that thing up there 12 feet in the air on a steel pole. And the man who can beat the other one up the worst and climb up the pole can use the glove any way he sees fit. Is that right, Mr. Boss?
That is essentially correct, yes.
Essentially. What you're not essentially telling them is this. DiBiase, I get a hold of that glove this time, and I'm legally allowed to use it. I might not just hit you one time, I might hit you 4 or 5 times. Then I might just end you, because I'm sick of looking at you. You and Dr. Death. Dr. Death, you go around here bragging you want somebody to beat. You take on mine. That's right. Here I am, boy. Come and get me. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care what went down, what went up, what went around. Here, I'm going to kick your butt all over this building, boy. Everybody in this building's going to be watching.
He is already signed for it. Dr. Death is ready for the match, and he is ready for the Angel of Death.
That's right. We're going to get all this trash out here. He's going to take care of Chavo. You know what, Chavo Guerrero? I'm going to send you across the river. I'm going to send you south of the border. You know why? Because it's going to look like a chihuahua being ate up by a bulldog, and I'm the bulldog. And as far as Dark Journey goes, let me tell you something, you little scuzzy heifer. You look right here. This is what a real woman looks like when she's around real men. Talk to me, baby.
I'll tell you one thing, you're badly mistaken, my dear friend. And I use that term very loosely, because it's untrue. You're no friend of mine, and I'll show you if you keep sticking your face in mine.
Well, there you have the free bird.
Says it all, doesn't it? You just remember this, DiBiase. I can climb a pole. I've been climbing trees since I was a little kid. And I'm going to climb all over you.
Well, there you have the word of Michael P.S. Hayes. It's here in this building on Friday, the 23rd of January. It will be a wild night.
Dr. Death! The guy hit the football back! He hit it! Go to the outside! Neither man wants to say he's had enough! Dr. Death standing as the pile driver, but Gordy is standing after the stampede. Both men have been busted. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be another day. There will be another day, and we will be right back. Let's get out of it. Wait a minute. Hold it right here. We're back at it. We're back at it. Williams and Gordy. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Universal Wrestling Federation. This is Universal Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, and I'll be your host for the next 60 minutes. It's going to be a tremendous hour. You'll see some great single competitors like Eli the Eliminator in the hour. You'll see the Giant Angel of Death and the return of Ted DiBiase in the hour, plus great tag team action. You're going to see the Fantastics take on Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. You'll see Chavo Guerrero scheduled to be Iceman King Parsons as his partner. They'll be taking on the former UWF Tag Team Champions,
Bad Leroy Brown and Wild Bill Irwin. I say former champions Terry Taylor and Hacksaw Duggan in Fort Worth, Texas, won those Universal Heavyweight Championship belts. Michael P.S. Hayes will also be joining me in the hour to provide some color commentary. It should be a super hour. We hope that you're having a great holiday season, and we're really going to start off 1987 with a bang. Some big matches, some great confrontations. We're happy that you're with us, and now let's go to the ring and Mike Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Anaheim, California, at 6'7½", 322 pounds, the Angel of Death. His opponent from Dallas, Texas, at 245 pounds, Jeff Reitz. This match, 1 fall or 10-minute time limit.
Jeff Reitz has a tremendous challenge ahead of him. Jeff's a tremendous young athlete, 234-pounder from Dallas, as he'll be going against the 320-pound Angel of Death. And Sunshine, of course, at ringside. Two fine young athletes, an outstanding smaller man, there's Sunshine, going against an outstanding big man. Both these young men showing a lot of agility. The Angel of Death, he's a big guy that has impressed a lot of wrestling fans. Still relatively inexperienced, but he has a tremendous amount of potential. And he is under the tutelage of Michael P.S. Hayes and the balance of the Freebird family. So you can bet that his progress will be certainly accelerated, thanks to his association with Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Buddy Jack Roberts, the fabulous Freebirds. As the Angel of Death brings Jeff Reitz back into the ring, but Reitz was ready for it. And one drop kick and one too many, as the Angel of Death moved out of the way, and now he's taking back over on Jeff Reitz. Remember, coming up next, don't go away, the Fantastics meet Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. Body slam by the Angel of Death. Flying version of the one-man gang 747, but you can see that it's not in that league right now. Drop kick, that's a very impressive maneuver by the 6'7", 320-pounder. Of course, there's not many 495-pound men walking the face of the earth, number one. So the gang 747 is certainly in a class by itself. Jeff Reitz now, a fall away by the Angel, and the Angel of Death with a lateral press, and referee Tommy Gilbert counts 3, and we have a victory for the Angel of Death. And we've got outstanding tag team competition. The Fantastics against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. It should be a classic, and we'll have it right after this timeout. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting making their way to the ring. We'll hear from the Fantastics. They'll be coming out in just a moment. Right now, let's hear this from Mike Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first from every girl's dream, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And from every man's nightmare, Sting.
Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting, minus Missy Hyatt at ringside. And this crowd, they're getting pumped right now because making their way to the ring momentarily. From Chillicothe, Ohio, Bobby Fulton. Want to say hello to his friends there, Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers, better known as the Fantastics. One of the most outstanding tag team combinations in the country today. And this should be a phenomenal matchup. And we have got a packed Tulsa Convention Center. It's filled to the rafters. And the crowd loves the Universal Wrestling Federation. And in just a few weeks, we'll be announcing some big plans on the 1987 World Tour, UWF, in some of the outstanding areas like Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, St. Louis, back in Kansas City. UWF will be on fire in '87, and it is the hottest wrestling association in the world today. And I'll tell you, this matchup that you're about to see, the Fantastics against Gilbert and Sting, should be a classic matchup. This should be awesome. Plus, you've got impressive Eli, the Eliminator, coming in the hour. The return of the one and only Ted DiBiase in the hour. Michael P.S. Hayes was here. And ladies and gentlemen, what a phenomenal crowd. It is standing room only in Tulsa. The place is alive with WWF excitement. This is not the only tag team match you'll see. The former champions, Van Leroy Brown and Wild Bill Irwin, if you just joined us, Devastation lost the titles to Hacksaw Duggan and Terry Taylor in the Metroplex just about a week ago. Well, get ready to rock and get ready to roll. This is the Universal Wrestling Federation, and let's get it started.
Also introducing from the City of Angels at the combined weight of 420 pounds, the Fantastic. This has one fall of television time remaining.
One fall, our television time remaining. A lot of fans have been writing the Universal Wrestling Federation, and we do encourage you to write. Let us know what you like or you don't like about the UWF. This is Fans Association. The real wrestling fans will tell you, they'll tell you that Tommy and Bobby are fantastic, but they'll also tell you that the UWF is where the excitement is. As charismatic Bobby Fulton, he wanted me to say hello to all his family in Chillicothe, Ohio, watching our program on the great television station in Columbus, Ohio. And this crowd is into it. Eddie Gilbert and Sting would like to remove the crowd from this contest. But as it is in so many athletic events, the crowd can play a big, big part in the outcome of a match. Collar and elbow tie up, back into the corner. Eddie Gilbert with the first, broke the rules right out of the box. The first cheap shot there, but Fulton reverses it. And Fulton with the atomic drop. And Eddie Gilbert was hurting, and Sting and Gilbert meeting, but not very ceremoniously indeed, as the Fantastics. Here, this crowd will bring the best out in you. I don't know where there are better wrestling fans, more intense fans, more enthusiastic fans, and more loyal fans than the wrestling fans that follow the Universal Wrestling Federation. Fulton, there was a tag there, and catapulting out of the corner, and there's a great drop kick by Tommy Rogers, and a second one, and a third one. And Rogers back to his feet. Sting and Gilbert, remember, is the legal man in the ring, as is Tommy Rogers. Rogers, who possesses one of the most outstanding drop kicks in the wrestling profession. And Eddie Gilbert better collect his thoughts here a little bit. I guess he will. He'll be on the outside thinking about it, as he has tagged Sting into the squared circle to go against Tommy Rogers in this tag team matchup that we've really looked forward to since we knew it would be signed. Sting, an outstanding young competitor, throwing Tommy Rogers. Not the normal body slam, but throwing Tommy Rogers and Sting in marvelous condition. And if you look at these four athletes in the ring, you're going to see why, just one of the reasons why, that the Universal Wrestling Federation is the most exciting professional wrestling organization in the country. It's conditioning, and it's great matchups, it's great pairings, it's competition. As Sting poses for this partisan crowd, and Rogers, I'd like to know what's going through his mind there, and Gilbert congratulating Sting on his successes in the last few moments. Tommy Rogers. Backing into the ropes they go. Carl Fergie calling for the break. Let's see if he gets a clean one, and he doesn't. A cheap shot by Sting. Sting drops down. Leapfrog by Rogers, and another drop kick. Right hand by Rogers, and into Fulton's foot, and there was the tag. Fulton strutting his stuff there. And that right hand caught Sting. So now it's Fulton and Sting Don't forget, Iceman King Parsons scheduled to be Chavo Guerrero's partner against Bad Leroy Brown and Wild Bill Irwin. There's the tag. Patented fantastic teamwork here on Universal Wrestling. If you just joined us, remember, the impressive Nulai the Eliminator will be with us in the hour, along with my color analyst Michael P.S. Hayes will be joining us in this hour as well. And knee buried deep to the midsection of Tommy Rogers. And now Eddie Gilbert, who thought he would have the advantage, quite obviously. But Rogers, using his expertise and his magnificent quickness, beat Gilbert to the punch, and now the tag was made. And the Fantastics, with great teamwork, you can bet that they would like to have a match for the Universal Tag Team Championship. The champions, Hacksaw Duggan and Terry Taylor. And friendships will be set aside if that match would come about, because it's a business, it's a profession. They're in it for the money. You're in it for your livelihood, and the championships bring the better livelihood, quite obviously. Nice move by Eddie Gilbert, but an equally positive maneuver by Tommy Rogers. Held on to the arm bar, and we'll be taking a commercial break in about 60 seconds. We will keep taping this match, and we'll be back as soon as possible. And that was a blatant infraction of the rules. About everybody here, but Carl Fergie, I think, saw that. But now, you can tell that Gilbert has had a profound influence on Sting. Sting caught the referee out of position and inflicted a little bit more punishment on Bobby Fulton. Vertical suplex. And a nice neck breaker. And a pinning predicament here, 1, 2. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more of this outstanding tag team matchup after this from the Universal Wrestling Federation. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Ross back with you at the capacity-filled Tulsa Convention Center. And this tag team match, the Fantastics taking on Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. The fans here did not miss any of the action. That's why you need to be at the national television tapings if you have the opportunity. But during the commercial break, Gilbert and Sting continued to work on the lower back of Bobby Fulton. And the crowd really getting into this thing. Gilbert trying to prevent a tag to keep his opponent, in this particular situation, Bobby Fulton, in the danger zone. As the song says, don't let him pass that line of demarcation. Let's stay in our half of the ring. But Fulton with a perfect hip lock, taking Gilbert over. But Sting, who apparently tagged, and he did, but Sting did not let Gilbert or let Fulton make the tag. And look at the strength of that young athlete. He's mastering more offensive maneuvers each and every time that I see him. One of the most impressive athletes of 1987 may well be Sting, and maybe one of the fine teams in the future may be Sting and a combination of Gilbert and Steiner. Perhaps Sting and Steiner is Gilbert's meal ticket. Who knows? But Gilbert can get it on as well. Getting closer to that corner. Fulton is everything he's got to get that tag. You've got to hold that. And now that was a piece of strategy and a breaking of the rule by Sting. And man, Gilbert has got their game plan razor sharp. The referee was turned just for an instant. And the pinning predicament with Fulton near the ropes, and the ropes saved Fulton, I think, from pinfall there. But Battling Bob from Chillicothe is fighting back. Bobby Fulton, now Gilbert back in there. He's a superb ring strategist. Both men colliding there as Fulton came out of the ropes. I was saying that Gilbert has got to be considered, along with Michael Hayes and others that we can mention, one of the most supreme ring strategists in this sport. And he's going to have to really reach into his mental recesses because it's getting awfully physical. There's a tag by Sting, and there is a tag by Fulton, and Tommy Rogers is in. Full of fire, but Bobby Fulton has sustained so much punishment. Fulton may well be hurt on the ring apron there. And Terry Gordy, Bam Bam Gordy, has gone to the ring. Now the Fantastics and the Freebirds have had quite a situation. But Gordy wasn't here, and Gordy just slammed Bobby Fulton face first into the steel ring post, and the referee is calling for the bell. Now Gordy has no love lost for Gilbert or Sting, but he has a hatred, obviously, for the Fantastics, as the big bammer from Bad Street is battling Tommy Rogers, and there's that Freebird pile driver, and he jammed it. Bam Bam Gordy, for some reason, has come to the ring. The only thing I can think of is that Gordy, who was not here when the Fantastics and Freebirds got it on, here comes Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Things are going to change, but Gordy getting out of the ring. Boy, that situation is boiled. But we've got the Fantastics, Fulton and Rogers. Fulton was busted, and Rogers has had that pile driver. Doc in there to check on his friends. Terry Gordy, this is a sadistic attack.
Let me tell you something, boy. You're next on my list.
Well, you better pack a lunch, Bam Bam. And I have all the respect in the world for Terry Gordy. But when you say you're going to put Steve Williams out of action, you better prepare to stay a while, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back with more right after this timeout.
I won't you off the story, but I guess you don't want to be at. This ain't no home sweet home, it's home sweet misery. We knew when we got here, they took us away. But when they seen us walk down the street, they ran the other way. Back Street
Coliseum on Friday, January 23rd, with a tremendous card. So far already signed a pole battle between Ted DiBiase and P.S. Michael Hayes. The glove will be on top of a 10-foot pole. The man who can climb the pole and come down with the glove can use it in that battle. Steve Dr. Williams battles the Angel of Death. Also on that big card, Chavo Guerrero will see action.
You know, I was in the dressing room listening to this Buddy Roberts refer to me as a Chihuahua. Well, you know, Chihuahua's not only a dog, Chihuahua just happens to be the biggest state in Mexico. Now, Buddy Roberts, you know, you're pretty well up there in the rank. I don't know what that's 6, 5, or something like that. But I'm going to use you to get to the UWF. I got Tatum, I got Victory, and you're next. Respetable público, quiero invitarlos ya que voy a tener una lucha con todos los Freebirds aquí en Houston y vamos a ver ahora sí de cuál cuero sale más correa y lo voy a usar a él como un paso para el campeonato de la UWF. Los invito, viva México.
Sensational Chavo Guerrero battles Freebird, Buddy Jack Roberts.
All right, we have a match coming up with Leroy Brown as a part of Akbar's Devastation Incorporated. Well, it might be a match with Leroy, but listen, this has something to do with Akbar. Akbar, you used to beat him, and he knows that. He's going to remember that because pain stays in his subconscious. I feel real bad for Leroy because Link remembers, and he's going to get Leroy Brown. He's going to give him back everything that you've ever done to him. Akbar, I don't understand why you weren't deported a long time ago. Hopefully somebody will one day.
Doc Journey will be in the corner of the missing Link as he battles P.S. Michael Hayes in that pole match. It's going to be a tremendous night, Doc Journey. We wish you luck.
Should be great. Thank you.
Be at the Sam Houston Coliseum Friday, January to be there.
And that sign, Fantastics have their fans. I'm joined here by the one and only Michael P.S. Hayes.
It didn't look like they were strutting their stuff to me. If that's what they call a strut, they need to learn from the man that walks the walk and talks the talk, and they need to learn that Bam Bam is back, better than ever.
And I'd like to speak with him about this situation, Michael. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of things over the last several weeks that I've had on my mind that I'd like to speak to Terry Gordy.
Well, you know what? I just might be able to arrange that for you, okay?
Let's work on that.
Okay, we'll just work on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael's back with us. He'll be with us for the balance of the hour, and we're going to go to the ring announcer, Mike Wilson, Eli the Eliminator, in action momentarily.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first from San Antonio at 228 pounds, Bobby Perez.
Bobby Perez awaiting.
And his opponent from Gary, Indiana at 265 pounds, Eli the Eliminator.
Awesome.
This match, 1 fall or 10-minute time limit.
Awesome upper body, Jim Ross. Look at those. Look at the pectorials. Look at the quadriceps.
Tattoos.
Tattoos ain't going to win you no matches, brother. It's that bulk.
It's just the New Year, Michael. I'm in a good mood.
It is.
Great show.
Yeah, we're going to see how many
I
people...
want to know the fan. That was a little bit ridiculous a while ago, but let's talk about Eli the Eliminator.
That was beautiful. I still wonder, good knee. See, this man's solid. He just works on beating people up. I still wonder who he's got to be aligned with, Jim Ross. Nobody comes into UWF, especially now with all the groups aligning against each other, and comes in as a free agent. He's got to be here for somebody, for some reason.
That's a very interesting concept. I'd like to find
right
that
now,
out
it looks
myself.
like just to beat up Bobby Perez. He goes for the cover, didn't hook the leg. I guess he didn't want to. He doesn't want to beat him yet. You know, Jim Ross, some of my friends, Greg and Steve from Security Kennels in Little Rock, were at a the other day, and they said they ran into people from Denver, Minneapolis, L.A., and all they were talking about wasn't the fact of the dog convention, was the fact of UWF. And here we are in 1987. What a clothesline!
Man.
The #1 wrestling program in the United States, and the reason why is the awesome wrestlers that are here.
And the new talent flooding into the UWF is really something. This young man, Eli the Eliminator, is we've got some great young talent here, Michael, in addition to some very
Whoa,
established
did you see that?
Boy, he's strong.
He just tossed him into the ropes like a bag of flour. Maybe you can make a tortilla out of him or something now. Bobby Perez has not had one offensive move. Looks like that inverted pile driver we seen a few weeks ago. Yes. Whoa, that's got to be it. 3.
1, 2, and 3. Eli the Eliminator, wasting little time and taking care of Bobby Perez. And ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, Michael Hayes and I will be right back. Tease from Omaha, Ted DiBiase.
I still wonder who's he's associated with, Jim Ross.
Well, I know it's not Ted DiBiase, and that's the man we're going to see next. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Ross and Michael Hayes back with you. Michael P.S. Hayes back with you. Excuse me. I haven't seen you in quite some time, and I'm glad that, well, I don't know if I'm glad or not. A lot of thoughts are on my mind. This Terry Gordy situation about the Fantastics.
Beat him up by himself.
Yeah, he beat some people up, but I don't... what motivated that situation?
What do you mean, what motivated that situation?
It was a great match. It was a great match. It cheated the fans out of seeing the rest of a super matchup, in my opinion.
What it did, it showed them the difference between premium gasoline and regular. And Freebirds are premium gasoline and don't appreciate getting ripped off. I told you, it's been weeks, but when we all got back together, things were going to get done, and they're getting done whether you like it or not.
Oh, well, something that got done a few weeks ago in the Cowtown Coliseum at the National Taping of Power Pro Wrestling. The one-man gang coming off that second rope with a 747, putting Ted DiBiase out of action. Ted DiBiase is back. He'll be here wrestling in a few moments, Michael, as well.
Well, that's great. I'm glad the guy's back, you know, because anybody that can take a 747 and come back in the ring, you say it shows guts. I say it shows stupidity, DiBiase.
And from Vicksburg, Mississippi, at 227 pounds, Ken Massey.
Ken Massey will be going against Ted DiBiase. You've heard the comments. You saw what happened, Michael, and you know Ted DiBiase about as well as you do anybody, or about as well as anybody can know Ted DiBiase, I might say, as far as an opponent is concerned. He's coming back with a vengeance and in great shape.
He's a man that can meet adversity at any time. I just question, how many times do you have to see the light, see the picture that you ain't going to climb that mountain?
Ted DiBiase certainly had his share of injuries in '86. We wish him the best for a healthy '86.
Introducing from Omaha, Nebraska, at 255 pounds, Ted DiBiase.
As you can tell, the fans...
1 fall or 10-minute time limit.
The fans are definitely glad to see him back and return to sellout crowd here at the Tulsa Convention Center. Nothing new for the UWF. You know, I still think I deserve a big thanks for me and my brothers making this the #1 show. #1 Wrestling Federation. DiBiase right away to what he does best, and that's wrestle.
You're a real humanitarian, you know it?
Well, one of my greatest traits is my humbleism. Massey here, now you got to give Massey credit. He's trying to wrestle all kinds of wrestlers, see different kind of styles, and challenging Ted DiBiase, who will see his scientific style, but DiBiase controlling it from the out point. You've seen a fireman's carry, a good body slam, and right back to the arm. Good fireman's carry. See, a veteran will stay on one body part. It makes sense. Once you got something weak, and stay with it. A lot of the young wrestlers will start on one body part, another, it's wasting time. Now, Massey, maybe changing his style. DiBiase said, okay, kid. Want to make a name for yourself? Not here. DiBiase, legal chop, but he's in the ropes. Legal forearm, but still in the ropes.
And he's brought out of the ropes, Ken.
Ideal. Good drop kick.
Teddy, he looks sharp today.
He sure does, and I don't see no effect so far on his ribs. What happened? Good power slam, that's it. He's got the leg and the head hook. Beautiful. I don't like the guy, but that's how wrestling's done.
That's exactly right. Ken Massey just got educated.
But I still think he might ought to go for one of these smaller organizations because he's wasting his time here. He can't get by the gang. He sure won't get by the Freebirds.
Well, that remains to be seen. I bet he's going to make one heck of an attempt. And Ted DiBiase back in great shape and victorious. And we'll be back right after this timeout.
Akbar, in case there was any doubt in your mind, I think what you just saw here was ample proof that Ted DiBiase is back. You've been smoking that big cigar and laughing about the big one-man gang fracturing my ribs. Well, brother, the saying goes, he who laughs last, laughs best. So let me tell you what, the best thing I can think of to start off this new year is you bring that big one-man gang out here and we'll settle this thing right here, right now, today.
Uh-oh, Akbar hurt him. Good thing he didn't challenge me. Akbar's bringing the gang, Jim Ross.
Yeah, I didn't challenge you.
He's bringing the gang. Here they come.
Well, I'll tell you.
Let's see who's going to laugh now.
We had another match scheduled. DiBiase did not leave the ring, obviously. I don't think Akbar's too excited about this, but the one-man gang.
I don't like Akbar gang, but you got to give it to gang. He ain't going to back down from any challenge.
From anybody. Anybody.
Well, he hasn't given Bam Bam his return match, but that's not the point that's present right now. Point is, Ted DiBiase asked for him. He's there. Akbar seems to be holding him back a little now.
I don't think Akbar, when I was watching back here when they came out of the dressing area, Akbar and the gang were having quite a conversation.
Here he goes. There they go, Fist City.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know who it is. You go nose to nose with the gang, you're probably going to end up on the short side, and DiBiase walked right in.
Do not try to overpower him. That's his game plan. And that is not DiBiase's game plan. DiBiase knows how to fight, but this is a man that keeps on beating people up. Look at that.
And this is not a match.
Laugh now, DiBiase. Ha ha, he who laughs last, huh? Yeah, you ain't laughing. He asked for this, Jim Ross.
Well, he wanted to settle it man on man. The gang, though, taking over on Ted DiBiase.
One-on-one.
You play his game under his terms, the one-man gang's going to be victorious.
That's it.
6'9", 495. Nobody matches up with him physically. Well, not to go nose to nose, Michael.
I'm telling you right now.
DiBiase's busted open.
Well, he just threw the referee aside.
That'll cost him some change.
Well, look at DiBiase is busted. That right eye. He asked for this. Welcome back, Teddy. Welcome back to the UWF.
This is not a match, but DiBiase's just a man-on-man challenge.
I told him he needs to go to one of those minimal wrestling organizations. You got to play with the big and the tough boys here. Gang's biting him. He's biting him.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Harry Gordy can go through Dr. Death, which that hasn't been proven.
That's no problem.
Then the battle with the Bam Bam and the gang will be something. But this thing right here is a long darn way from over.
It might be a trip down memory lane. Another 747. This is it.
Boy, this is not the way to start the year.
Happy New Year. Look at the look on Gang's face. Look at the blood off of his lips from biting DiBiase's head. There he goes. DiBiase moves. DiBiase move. What's he doing? He's hooking him. He's got him sugared leg. 1, 2, 3.
DiBiase has pinned the one-man gang.
That wasn't a real match.
DiBiase has pinned. He got a 1, 2, 3, and he pinned the one-man gang with a wrestling move.
He did. He hooked him, no doubt. Any man can be hooked no matter what side you are. But look, who really won?
DiBiase has pinned the one-man gang.
That is not right, Jim Ross. That was not a sanctioned match. My brother was ripped off of the belt, but 2 wrongs do not make a right.
Well, this was not a match, but the gang did get pinned, and will.
Akbar is livid. He knew not to let him go in there.
Of course he's livid, and we'll be right back with more Universal action right after this timeout.
Got in a little home-time jam, so they put a rifle in my hands, sent me off to...
Here to talk about his boy, Rick Steiner, who will be on the card at the Sam Houston Coliseum on Friday, January 23rd. Eddie Gilbert.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bosch. You know, you and I have a lot in common. You're the number man of what you've done all your life. You're the #1 man now, promoter in the whole country. And Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert just happens to be the #1 manager in wrestling. He happens to be the #1 in wrestling. He happens to be the #1 smartest man in wrestling today.
Because is that the opinion held by Eddie Gilbert or by the wrestling world?
You know the way I feel right now, Mr. Bosch, is just as long as I know that and I think that, I don't think anybody else, I don't even have to have their opinion. Because January 23rd starts 1987 for Hot Stuff International. Rick Steiner comes rolling in to the Sam Houston Coliseum, and he's going to roll right over Jeff Gaylord. Because you see, Mr. Bosch, there seems to be a lot of people overlooking Hot Stuff and Hot International. There seems to be a lot of people, even yourself, even little Petey around here, even Jim Ross, even Cowboy Bill Watts, all of them. Everybody's overlooking the fact that we're the dark horse. Oh, yeah, we always are. You always set Hot Stuff International in the back. You set Rick Steiner in the back. You set Sting in the back. You set Missy Hyde in the back. You set Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert in the back. Well, that's just fine. You can come out here, and we can hear all about the Freebirds, Terry Gordy, and all us. We can hear about Skandor Akbar and his army. But don't you forget about Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Steiner, Sting, and Missy Hyde, because we're going to be the dark horse, and we're going to be like cream. We're going to rise to the top.
So there you have the opinion of manager, wrestler, and entrepreneur Eddie Gilbert. But remember, he's a tough character who has tough characters around him. May we remind you that the action takes place at Friday here in the Sam Houston Coliseum on Friday, January 23rd.
Skandor Akbar from Chicago at 375 pounds, Bad Leroy Brown. And from Minnesota at 295 pounds, Wild Bill Owens.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the commercial break, I went to the dressing room. We got some, Ted DiBiase, we got some comments from him. He beat the one-man gang with a wrestling move. He pinned the gang.
But not a sanctioned match.
It wasn't a sanctioned pin him, and here's what he had to say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ted DiBiase pinning the one-man gang. It wasn't a non-sanctioned match, but the bottom line is that you pinned the one-man gang, Teddy.
That's right, Jim Ross. You know, all through my career, I have never proclaimed to be the greatest brawler in the world. I have never protested that I was the strongest wrestler in the world or anything else. The name at the top of the marquee is W-R-E-S-T-L-I-N-G, wrestling. And that's what I am, one-man gang. I am a wrestler. And I've proved it to you and everybody watching that I can out-wrestle you. Yes, you're bigger than I am. You are stronger than I am. The one-man gang, I'm smarter than you are. And I put your 400-pound body through the mat for a 3 count. Belt wasn't on the line. It wasn't a sanctioned match. But the fact still remains that your shoulders were on the mat. I did it once, Jim Ross. They've called me a tactician for years. I've done it. And now the Universal Wrestling Federation knows that I can get the job done. That puts me right in line, one-man gang. Akbar, you listening? Stick your nose in there again. You made a fatal mistake. You didn't finish me off. I'm back, and I'm hot on the trail for that belt. This is the second time now I've beat a man that's held that belt, and I've come away with nothing but a pat on the back. Next time, gang, the belt's going to be on the line, and then it's going to be mine.
Ted DiBiase, the one-man gang faces a tremendous challenge.
From St. Louis, Missouri at 234 pounds, the Iceman, Dean Parsons. Also introducing from Mountain Valley, California at 225 pounds, Chavo Guerrero. This match, one fall or television time remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind before this match gets started that next week, the UWF Tag Team Championship will be on the line. Terry Taylor and Hacksaw Duggan will defend their newly won titles against Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Buddy Jack Roberts, the Fabulous Freebirds. And Michael P.S. Hayes, my colleague, will be challenging Savannah Jack for the television title. Dark Journey, Missy Hyatt, a girls match with Lumberjack rules. All that right here on TV next week, Michael.
Well, you can get it nowhere but the UWF, and we finally get some kind of justice, some kind of retaliation for the way we were ripped off. Look at Chavo Guerrero take the big man down with a flying body press. Chavo and Iceman will definitely complement each other's style. Both quick wrestlers, know how to wrestle. Iceman, Ken Brawlett, was a Golden Gloves boxer. Here he comes in. Irwin and Brown got to be on a downslide. Got to be feeling depressed after being beat for the titles at Fort Worth. But you know what? I want people to think about this. Terry has still not got his just due return match. Every champion has a return clause. He is not to get his chance against the gang. And now after what happened with DiBiase hooking him in a wrestling move for
Well, Steve Williams is also standing in that line.
Well, I am too.
Along with a lot of people.
Iceman using them lefts to knock down Leroy Brown. It's obvious Chavo and him decided they're going to work the arm. Good tags and keeping a fresh man in.
So we've got two championship matches for you right here next week. The girls match with Lumberjack rules. It'll be another tremendous hour here next week, and we certainly do appreciate you being with us.
I wonder what would happen if I happened to be out there and they threw Dark Journey out my way. Or if they even threw that other broad.
The other lady, you mean?
Broad. Irwin now coming in. Now that looks more like Irwin and Brown. Come in, attack people. But see, that's what Iceman and Chavo stop right there. Good backbreaker slam. Could be it. He's not hooking the leg, though.
I've been very impressed with the efforts of Will Irwin as of late. He's really coming to his own here in the UWF. He's a great athlete.
Whoa, he went for it again. See that? Guerrero. Looks like he's going for a roll-up, yes. 1, 2, whoa. I think a lot of people have been watching the tactics of Brown and Irwin, what brought him the title, just steamrolling in, and learned that if you don't let him get started like that, slow it down some, you take them a little bit out of their game plan.
We'll also have, hopefully, if Michael can arrange it, that interview that I'd like to have next week with Terry Gordy.
I talked to Bam Bam. He said he'll grant you an interview. Big high backdrop. He started to go for a bear hug, and now he's antagonizing Iceman. Here's where the psychology comes. Here's where it is. Draw a man out of his element. It's good tag team move. Good tag team move.
Big overhand right by Leroy Brown. 375 pounds. We're inside 60 seconds of airtime here on Universal Wrestling.
Chavo with the right, not having too much effect. But the hot kick, and there's a tag to Iceman. Iceman, boom. Good drop kick. Setting up. Headbutt. Now, I don't know how much effect against Leroy's big head. Had some. It rocked him.
On Friday, the 23rd of January, here in the Sam Houston Coliseum, the chief interest in the life of Michael P.S. Hayes is going to be a glove that rests on a pole 10 foot above the ring. And Ted DiBiase doesn't intend to see you get it.
Is that right? Let me tell you something, DiBiase. You say finders, keepers, losers, weepers. But I didn't find that glove, boy. I took it right off you. By myself. Nobody had to help me. I did it by myself. Because when you come from a bad street, you don't need no help, man. Shut up when I'm talking. Now they're gonna put that thing up there 12 feet in the air on a steel pole. And the man who can beat the other one up the worst and climb up the pole can use the glove any way he sees fit. Is that right, Mr. Boss?
That is essentially correct, yes.
Essentially. What you're not essentially telling them is this. DiBiase, when I get a hold of that glove this time, and I'm legally allowed to use it, I might not just hit you one time, I might hit you 4 or 5 times. But then I might just end your career Because I'm sick of looking at you. You and Dr. Death. Dr. Death, you go around here bragging you want somebody to beat. Well, why did you take on my Angel of Death?
That's right. Here I am, boy. Come and get me. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care what went down, what went up, what went around. I'm here, and I'm going to kick your butt all over this building, boy. Everybody in this building is going to be watching.
He is already signed for it. Dr. Death is ready for the match, and he is ready for the Angel of Death.
That's right. We're finishing all this trash out of here. He's going to take care of Chavo.
Hey, you know what, Chavo Guerrero? I'm going to send you across the river. I'm going to send you south of the border. You know why? Because it's going to look like a chihuahua being ate up by a bulldog, and I'm the bulldog.
And as far as Dark Journey goes, let me tell you something, you little scuzzy heifer. You look right here. This is what a real woman looks like when she's around real men. Talk to 'em, baby.
I'll tell you one thing, you're badly mistaken, my dear friend. And I use that term very loosely because it's untrue. You're no friend of mine, and I'll show you if you keep sticking your face in mine.
So there you have the Freebird.
That says it all, doesn't it? You just remember this, DiBiase. I can climb a pole. I've been climbing trees since I was a little kid. And I'm going to climb all over you.
So there you have the word of Michael P.S. Hayes. That's here in this building on Friday, the 23rd of January. It'll be a
They have perfected it, and they will get the supreme test in just a few moments as the Bosses, born in the USA, blares in the background, and that will bring to the ring perhaps the most awesome team in the history of the Universal Wrestling Federation, and in many people's estimation, the finest team in the world today. Steve Dr. Death Williams and Ted DiBiase making their way to the ring. This will be a battle, a classic matchup, and we're so happy that you're here with us, the 39th year of Houston Wrestling. We're here on 39 Gold. Thank you very much for being with us. This is what it's all about. And if they're breaking it right off the bat, Pete Dumpster's getting out of the ring. The referee's calling for the bell, and it's a Bad Street battle from Jump Street right here.
Bad Street battle, the bell sounds, but neither of these individuals needed an excuse to charge at each other. Bad Street rules. Ted DiBiase, Steve Dr. Williams up against the Fabulous Freebirds, Terry Gordy and P.S. Michael Hayes. No disqualifications, and referee Tommy Gilbert, he knows he's got a tornado of a battle here. And as Terry Gordy goes from one right fist to another, he is finding out that maybe Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Williams, maybe they have taken a few walks down Bad Street themselves.
Well, they've traveled down Bad Street as Terry Gordy throwing that metal chair into the ring. Remember, the referee is there only to count a pinfall. This match is no disqualification. The referee is basically there, as I said, just to count the pinfall. The match was signed. The men all understood the stipulations. No disqualifications. Come dressed as you are. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, the masters, self-proclaimed masters of the Bad Street. I'll tell you, their one-loss record in these type matches is unbelievable.
I tell you, it was billed as a dream match, and that is exactly what it is, Jim, because as you mentioned before, one of the most respected, highly ranked, and loved tag teams in the whole entire wrestling world is Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Williams. Yet they're up against one of the most flamboyant and colorful, explosive, exciting, controversial, all those adjectives fit the Fabulous Freebirds, and they're running head-on at each other. Bad Street rules.
Oh, there's a lot of bad blood here. And DiBiase reverses. And Michael Hayes and Terry Bam Bam Gordy are really feeling the wrath of DiBiase and Williams in this Bad Street battle from Houston, Texas. DiBiase with the right hands, and the Freebirds are flying out of the ring and regrouping in the nest.
High 10 by Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase has his right hand taped, heavily taped. Remember, there's no disqualification, so use of fist is legal. But I also wonder exactly what kind of damage Ted DiBiase may be able to inflict on P.S. Michael Hayes on that pole match on Friday, January 23rd.
Well, they're finally going to get to go one-on-one, and I know a lot of people, including myself, have waited on that situation for quite some time. Atop a 10-foot pole, and that pole will be attached to one of the ring corners, will be Ted DiBiase's black glove, and that glove is a deadly weapon, as we saw earlier in this program, how it could be used, and used very effectively. Nobody knows it better than Ted DiBiase. But that black glove will be atop that 10-foot pole, and we'll find out who can get the glove, and then they can use it for as long and as often as they'd like.
DiBiase set him up, and then comes across with that punishing clothesline. And P.S. Michael Hayes, he quickly retreats to the big Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
And Gordy has put, Freebirds have put both DiBiase and Williams in the hospital. And it was the Freebirds that really started, I think, the situation with Ted DiBiase several years ago in Atlanta. But that has since been reignited, so to speak. So these men have spent some hospital time due to each other's physical nature, let's say. And so they're here to settle it with no rules. Dr. Death with that belly-to-back suplex. Williams showing his tremendous agility. And Williams and Gordy, this has got to be one of the most physical one-on-one feuds of 1987, Pete. And we're here in this tag team situation, and it's just as hot because Michael Hayes hates Ted DiBiase, and the feeling is mutual.
That was a beautiful move by Steve Dr. Williams, and Dr. Death is probably one of the few wrestlers in the entire world who would be able to manhandle Terry Gordy like that.
We saw him a few weeks ago pick the one-man gang. He's a phenomenal athlete, and I haven't seen anybody do that. Williams did it, and, well, the list of his accomplishments in the squared circle is certainly growing as his career progresses here in the Universal Wrestling Federation. As Hayes now taking over with a little help from Terry Gordy. Now Hayes has got his boot off, but that's legal because this is a bad street match. He can do anything he wants with it.
As Michael Hayes now continues to use that boot, remember, no disqualifications, bad street rules, and the fabulous Freebirds, they take tremendous pride in feeling that they are the kings of bad street.
Terry Gordy, oh man, that clothesline, Gordy set himself, and as Williams got up, Gordy really nailed him, and Gordy verbally challenging Ted DiBiase, and now coming back in and choking Steve Dr. Death Williams, and the referee, as you see, there's no count. He can count if he'd like, but he doesn't have to break it. And that is the danger of signing a no disqualification match, Pete, especially with the Freebirds.
Ted DiBiase, Steve Dr. Williams, 5 minutes deep in this matchup against the fabulous Freebirds. Bad street rules, no disqualification. And you saw that again, a great demonstration of the power and stamina of Steve Dr. Williams. And as he crawls, trying to reach for DiBiase, Michael Hayes comes rushing across the ring. And we have to hand it to the Freebirds. They are showing that at this moment they know exactly how to wrestle a bad street battle.
They're one of the greatest teams in the history of this sport. Now Hayes with a bulldog headlock on Williams, and Williams' face cracking against the canvas here at the Coliseum in Houston. Count of 1, 2, and Williams with this just awesome strength, and that big stallion powers out at the count of...
Well, this is one fall to a finish. And we plan to show as much of this match as possible as Michael Hayes now with his reverse chinlock trying to follow up on a dazed Steve Dr. Death Williams.
And wrestling fans, if we happen to run out of time, we will bring you the balance of this match next week here on 39 Gold, right, Pete? We'll bring the rest of it to them next week. So you're going to be a winner, fans, either way, because you're going to see it here in this hour or for sure right here next week. We're going to keep it right here as long as we possibly can.
Special effort from promoter Paul Bosch and Houston Wrestling to show you this dream match. Fans have been talking about it for a long time, and it's taking place right now.
We have another great crowd here, and on Friday night, January 23rd, Ted DiBiase and Michael Hayes one-on-one, and that glove on a pole match. And Dr. Death ducked out of the way, and Gordy with a misfire, nailing his brother, Michael P.S. Hayes. And Hayes knows right now to feel the big right hand of Bam Bam Gordy. And there's the tag. Williams finally made the tag, and there's Ted DiBiase taking over on Bam Bam Gordy.
DiBiase took care of Bam Bam. He's trying to find a place to set Michael Hayes, and he rams the two heads of the Freebirds. But as we see Gordy slowing down Ted DiBiase's attack, a vicious rip across the face. And now Gordy trying to follow up and misses. And this is what happens in a bad street battle. There's action going on all over the place, Jim.
DiBiase was trying to go for the figure 4, but Gordy kicked him off. And DiBiase's head and neck against that second turnbuckle. Remember, DiBiase's got chronic neck problems thanks to the Freebirds and their pile driver. And Dr. Death says, hello, it's a house call. I've got the perfect prescription for Terry Gordy, and it's a knuckle injection.
Dr. Death now setting up Bam Bam, but two big colliding like that, and Dr. Death falls outside the ring. Bam Bam is inside the ropes. We see in the low point screen so Michael Hayes attacking Ted DiBiase, but as DiBiase crawls back in the ring, Michael Hayes is in his corner. Terry Bam Bam Gordy now takes after Ted DiBiase.
Gordy's left knee is heavily bandaged, as we can see, and it's now quite obvious that the Freebird's taking over on the head and neck of Ted DiBiase. And you almost can sense that the pile driver is forthcoming, because that's what they're going for. They're working on the head and neck of Ted DiBiase. And oh, they do know so very well exactly how delicate that neck is and what they have done to it in the past, as Michael Hayes strutting his stuff on the outside of the ring. And the Freebirds certainly have things going their way, Pete, in this bad streak matchup here on 39 Gold.
But we all knew that going into the match, Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Williams were at a distinct disadvantage. They have not wrestled bad street rules, and of course the fabulous Freebirds have wrestled under these rules all across the globe.
And another good point I think we can make here is the fact that Williams and DiBiase, in addition to their hospital time, their convalescence time, they've been spending most of their time wrestling single matches. Ted DiBiase in a situation with a one-man gang, and Dr. Death and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. So their timing, I don't know if it's off, because how can you tell the Freebirds are such a superior team in this profession? It is a great test as Hayes now putting his left boot back on.
Possibly DiBiase and Dr. Death made a mistake in their efforts. They're being a little bit too over-anxious to get their hands on the Freebirds and been willing to agree to this type of match.
Well, it's right down the Freebirds' alley.
Up, and that's Michael Hayes on to DiBiase is setting them up for Bam Bam Gordy. Terry Bam Bam Gordy, as DiBiase was hanging there helplessly, and Dr. Death came across and rescued DiBiase.
Dr. Death saved DiBiase from that reverse pile driver. And if they'd have got DiBiase with that, as much punishment as he has been subjected to, this match would have been history by now. But Dr. Death saved DiBiase in that situation.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, our time has just about run out. We've got to break in on this match, but we can tell you that you will see the remainder of this match come next Saturday night here on our program, Houston Wrestling, in conjunction with the Universal Wrestling Federation. It's been good to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope you enjoyed this program of Houston Wrestling. And remember that the live wrestling, the next live wrestling in Houston, the Coliseum, will be on 23rd of January, the Friday night of January 23rd. It's going to be a tremendous card. We're going to make it a tremendous card because you'll be there and you'll enjoy it. So long, everybody.
Houston Wrestling was brought to you by...
Welcome to Channel 13 Sunday.
Channel 13 presents for your Sunday afternoon viewing the Sunday Big Movie
Planet with Walter Pigeon.